Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Getting caught in the wrong shoes can interrupt your plans for the day, like when that 10% chance of rain ends up looking more like 100%. When the transition to fall and winter feels more like experiencing every season on the same day, there's the Allbirds Mizzle Collection. These shoes were made for misty morning walks, surprise snow days, and anything a trip to the dog park might bring. The whole collection brings together water-repellent technology and classic style, so you can stay warm, dry, and comfy during your everyday adventures. Cross off errands with the splash protection on the Wool Runner Mizzle. Dash through cold and wet weather with all-condition traction and reflective details on the Wool Dasher Mizzle. Or upgrade to next-level protection with the Mudguard on the Wool Runner-Up Mizzle Plus. Go to allbirds.com and use code FRESHSOCKS for a free pair of socks with your purchase. ALLBIRDS.com, code FRESHSOCKS.
That song is so much fun.
It is, and this is a
great.
movie that has just so much hip hop, which is weird that this movie has it. Like, it seems like the hip hop in this movie is out of place, but I still like it.
It is because it's like three corny white dudes,
Yeah.
and then like the black guy's Middle Eastern.
Yes.
So you don't really think gangster Middle Eastern, so
No.
it's really hilarious.
And
what's
of
your
course,
name?
my name is Eric.
Oh yeah, I'm Chris.
Hey,
what
how's
are
it
we
going?
doing?
This is a special edition of We Should Be Better at This movie edition, where, and of course, the movie we are talking about is Office Space, the movie from 1999, as we ended the millennium.
Yes, we did, and that was actually part of the movie too. One of the plot points was that they were writing code to help the Y2K not happen.
Yes. Which have you ever talked to your kids about Y2K and even the concept of it, and do they understand it?
It's impossible to explain it.
Right.
It's like the birds and the bees.
Yeah. It's like I'd rather have the sex talk.
Yeah,
son.
right. I'd rather have the peach and
Do you remember
eggplant
how?
talk.
Yeah. Do you remember how freaked out people were about Y2K? I mean,
Yeah.
it was like a full on. It was a legit freak out thing.
Yeah, no, it was. And the funny thing was, is I live in a town where it's all like conspiracy theories and like the government's watching us
Yeah.
and Big Brother. But I was running a hotel, and then we had a giant New Year's Eve celebration, and I so wanted to turn off all the lights
Yes.
at midnight and be like, "Oh my God, it's happening!"
Yeah. That sound of like everything powering down.
Right? Like the sound from Star Wars.
The shields are down. So this movie is definitely the very definition of a cult classic because it did not do good in theaters. It was actually a failure in theaters. But as soon as it hit video, it's one of those movies that anyone who's over the age of about 35
Yes.
has seen this movie. Like almost everyone
And
has
usually
seen
you're
this movie.
introduced to it at a party or
Right.
something. Like somebody's like, "Hey, have you seen this?" You're like, "No."
It was watched in groups. It was
Yeah.
watched as fun. So what do you think about this movie made it a cult classic? Like, what was it that kind of... Why didn't it succeed in the theaters, but yet was so successful?
I think because it might have been a little bit before its time. It had some heavy hitters. It had Jennifer Aniston in it. It had what the fuck's the guy's name?
Ron Livingston?
Yeah. You know, it's got some pretty decent people in it that if you look at him, you're like, "Oh, that guy. Oh, that guy. Oh, she's in it too. Oh, great."
I think it's because
So-
everyone's worked in an office or has some office experience,
But
and
I
they all
think-
have the same frustrations.
Exactly, but I think that it came out when people were finally realizing these frustrations and they weren't so stereotypical. So when Office Space came out, people were like, "Oh yeah, that's probably right." And then after a while, I was like, "Oh my God, that is so effing true,"
Right.
because they hated life more.
Yeah.
Pretty much what it is.
So in the opening, no matter which, so he's driving in the car and driving to work. So immediately he's resonating, at least for us in Southern California, with something we deal with every day.
100%. And the scene cannot be more true.
Yes, he's no matter which lane he chooses, it's the wrong lane. The old man alongside
Yes.
that keeps passing him, even though he's in a walker.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, listen, Chris and I drive in Southern California. This is literally our day.
I don't know how many
every
times
single-
I've been sitting there and I'm like, "Oh, well, she's kind of cute. She's walking down the street," and I stop at the next light and I'm like, "Oh, there she is again. Why is she going faster than me?"
Exactly. The other thing, so he gets through all that and he gets to the office. The other thing that really resonated with me was the pause that he does because he doesn't want to walk in the doors to start the day.
Oh, yeah.
He pauses in front of the doors and kind of takes the breath and goes,
oh, crap.
and like doesn't want to go in. And I'm like, man, I feel you. Like,
Oh
that's,
man, I've done that so many times. The funny thing is when he sits down and he's like, okay, he got his own area,
Yeah.
and all he hears is, "Hi, thank you for going to be," and just over and over again. Please hold. I would murder her.
God, imagine hearing it all day.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
All day.
You're like, you already don't have your own area. You have these half walls that are like paper thin. You have this chick behind you answering the phone all day. Please hold.
So
was loud.
so speaking of that same lady, I want you to play this clip. This is the clip where that secretary can't pronounce the name of the Arab dude, and she says, "And are you related to Michael Bolton?" This is when she's handing out the checks to everyone.
Michael Bolton?
That's me.
Wow, is that your real name?
Yeah.
So are you related to that singer guy?
No, it's just a coincidence.
Oh.
No one in this country can ever pronounce my name right. Hey, it's not that hard. Najad.
He just disgustingly grabs the check away from her
Yep.
and is like, "Yeah."
Oh, but the better part was when she came back around, and I might be ruining this for you, but when she goes, "Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays."
Yes, we'll get to that later. But yeah, you're absolutely right. God, that woman! I wanted to smack that woman so bad. But one of the first things that happens in this movie, yes, besides when you're right, he sits down. He not only sat in the traffic, he not only didn't want to open the door, but you're right. He sits down and he hears her voice, and he's like, you see it in his face too, of just like oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like I would murder. Wow.
But he has a bunch of bosses that don't listen. It's so we need to talk about the TPS report cover sheet, and he has like 3 different bosses that come up to kind of get on him about the same
cover
thing.
pages on the TPS reports. Yeah. And he touches that later on in the thing where he's like, I got 8 bosses, Bob. Yeah. So if I mess up, I get talked to 8 times. There's no motivation there to do anything.
So yes, when she does say it sounds like a case of the Mondays, I think you should actually go ahead and play that one too, because this is definitely a reoccurring theme throughout the movie.
Oh, it will be.
Hey guys,
What's up, G?
want to go to Chachki's? Get some coffee?
It's a little early.
I gotta get out of here. I think I'm gonna lose it.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Oh my God, I want to hit her so
oh my
hard
gosh,
in the face.
yes. Because you could picture someone in an office like that's something that has been said. Like
Oh, yeah.
that is not something made
yeah.
up in the movie. That every week in every office somewhere it's
And
said.
somebody in the corner cubicle breaks a number 2 pencil.
Yes. At some point during the week, you will have that one lady. And by the way, the same lady who says you have a case of the Mondays or something like that is also the one that says TGIF when it's Friday.
Yeah. Oh,
that's the same woman.
But it gets worse. It's the same one that goes, Mike. What day is it? It's hump day. Mike. Or, hey guys, Hawaiian shirt day this Friday. Woo! Oh, God. I used to be that guy.
You did used to be that
Yeah,
guy?
because I hated them. The offices, I was pretty delirious, and I just tried to do whatever I could to make myself not go crazy. So I would do dumb shit like that.
You didn't do very well since you need to take pills to prevent you from being crazy.
Oh, yeah. I
so,
know.
I
Actually, I did pretty well because I convinced everybody I was crazy. Now I just take pills for fun.
No, I take pills for fun too. Ron Livingston, who plays Peter, the lead character in the movie, the other thing I like is when he talks. So he tells his friends, they're all frustrated too, but he tells them how about his girlfriend, and he goes, guys, I think she's cheating on me, and they all say, yeah, we know.
No, what they say is they go, yeah, I feel that too, and they're like, what? Like, why would you say that? Like his neighbor? Did his neighbor do it
his
too?
neighbor even says it. Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah, I feel you too, man. What do you mean? No, I feel she has that like presence. Like,
Hey, she hasn't been over here in a while. You two still going out?
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I get the feeling like she's cheating on me.
Yeah, I get that feeling too, man.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know, man. I just get that feeling looking at her like she's the type of chick that would just... Ugh. I'm sorry, man.
So the movie starts with that, and they're just getting you into the feel of how this guy feels about his business. But then what happens is the movie moves on to its main plot point, which is they bring in the consultants.
Yes.
And you know what that means? You're interviewing for your job.
Been there.
I've been a consultant before.
I've been on both sides.
Yeah, and I've been on both sides, and it's not fun on even the side where you're firing. Like, it's really not enjoyable to go in there when you know that you're having to get rid of people, which I've had to do.
Not at all.
So Milton, one of the characters, freaks out about the consultants. He comes up and he yells at them and he goes, guys, we're having to interview for our own jobs. We got to get out of this. We got to start our own, you got to start your own thing. He's basically saying we got to start our own thing.
Start a company,
And
guys.
what is the invention that he comes up with, Chris?
The jump to conclusions mat.
So tell us all about the jump to conclusions mat.
It's a mat where you set it out, and there's all these different conclusions on it. And then you jump, and whatever one you land on, that's your conclusion. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was his big business idea, which is hilarious. And later on, when he gets in the accident, he shows them his prototype for it.
He's like, look, and he's got his head in a brace.
In a brace, yeah.
Can you imagine you're like jumping, you're like, oh, should I kill that guy sleeping with my wife right now? Oh, I should eat the sandwich.
You know, there are people in this world that don't have to put up with all this shit. Like that guy that invented the pet rock. You see, that's what you have to do. You have to use your mind and come up with some really great idea like that, and you can make millions, never have to work again.
You think the pet rock was a really great idea?
Sure it was. The guy made $1 million. You know, I had an idea like that once, a long time ago.
Really? What was it, Tom?
Well, all right. It was a jump to conclusions mat. You see, it would be this mat that you would put on the floor and would have different conclusions written on it that you could jump to.
That is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life, Tom.
Yes, it's horrible, this idea.
So that is his dumb invention idea. Do you have any dumb inventions ideas?
Yeah,
like,
of course I
what
do.
is one that you're like, oh, I would totally do this? Let me tell you mine.
Okay.
I think in a car, there should be 2 car horns.
Okay.
Number 1 is a friendly meet meet. Sounds like a Mini Cooper kind of horn.
Squirts a little water on.
Yeah. The
Number
other
one.
one is an angry trucker horn, like meh, meh. Now, sometimes when you
Scares
want
the
to
shit
honk,
out of 'em?
yeah,
Number 2?
yeah, exactly. Number 2. Sometimes you just want to give the person a friendly little hey. how's
Get
it-
off your
or-
phone. The green, the
Right,
light's
right, right.
green.
Or you're saying goodbye to someone. You're doing the honk. That's when you use the friendly honk. The other honk is the you mother effer, you cut
we're
me
about-
off
we're
kind
about
of
to
thing.
we're about to throw blows.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the angry horn. I think cars should have double horns.
That's smart because most people don't know how to regulate.
Patent pending.
Well, there's no patent there. It's already made. They just
I know, but I say it every time I say it.
No, I don't think I could. Bro, you see, you threw this on me
I know.
again.
I blinded you with
All
science.
right, I'll think of one while we talk.
All right,
Where we
so literally immediately after this, they say they talk about the concept of having $1 million and what would you do, right?
Yes.
And they say, they ask you if you had $1 million, what would you do? Because that's supposed to be what you would do
The
in
American
life, right?
dream,
Right, the
basically.
American dream, right?
Yeah.
Well, they say that's what your career should be, and then he brings up a good point. He says, well, if you had $1 million, no one would pick to be a janitor. There would be no janitors in this world. No one would be like, I got $1 million. I want to clean up puke and whatever.
Kid vomit
And the neighbor goes, Dietrich Bader, who plays the neighbor, which I forget his
God, I
name.
love that guy.
I love him too. He's such a great character. He goes, you know what I'd do? 2 chicks at the same time.
Yep.
He goes, well, that's not really what I mean. Well, a guy like me, like basically he says like women would do a guy like me for
if
if
I
I had $1
bunch of
million.
money. I mean, if I had a lot of money standing right next to me, they'd say yes.
Yeah, they'd say yes.
I love it when he goes.
I do 2 chicks at the same
Yeah,
time.
but right before that, I think he goes, so let me ask you a question. If somebody said you had a case of the Mondays at your job, what would you do?
I believe I'd kick their ass. They get their ass kicked.
When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
The other thing that I noticed about this, so then he goes to the office, they're having that big group meeting where everyone's standing around and they got the banner hanging up above and they're serving cake and all. The other thing I noticed about this that is just so true, management is usually horrible at public speaking.
Yes.
They get in front of the group and it's like, the guy who played, his name's Gary Cole, he's a really funny actor. Gary Cole plays that role so perfect, but when he goes, yeah, okay, he sounds like the guy from South Park. Okay.
Everybody does an impersonation of that guy. Peter, okay.
I'm gonna need you to come in on set. But when he's giving the speech, that's the first thing I thought of is like, oh my god, that's so true. Every management person tries to speak in front of their group, and they
fail.
horrible at it.
Just like you.
Yeah.
No, it's so true. The one thing that I really like about this movie is that the character of basically the Dilbert of the whole character, right? Like, didn't the Office Space come from like something with Dilbert? Remember the comic Dilbert?
The guy. You mean the
Mike
guy?
Judge. Mike Judge.
Yeah, Mike Judge. Are you talking about the guy that
I believe you,
plays
Mr.
Milton?
I'm
going to burn the whole place down.
Stephen Root.
Yeah, Stephen Root.
He's awesome.
Stephen Root was the voice of the guy on King of the Hill, the fat bald guy on King of the Hill. Yeah,
Bill.
Bill.
His
Just
name is
Bill.
Bill.
In fact, go ahead and play that scene clip. If you move my desk one more time, I'm going to light the place on fire. Go and play that one.
But then they switched from the swing line to the Boston stapler, but I kept my swing line stapler because it didn't bind up as much, and I kept the staples for the swing line stapler.
Okay, Milton.
And no, it's not okay, because if they take my stapler, then I'll set the building on fire.
Okay, well that sounds great. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
God, I love that's my favorite character of the whole movie. Him and Peter are my two favorite characters of the whole movie. But yeah, I mean, well, one because Peter scores with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, which
and
is there's nothing wrong with that.
Peter scores.
Yeah.
So what else you got?
So he's trying to leave early on a Friday, right?
Yes.
He doesn't want to work, and as he's trying to leave, his computer is loading slow. He can't get out on time. He's peeking over the thing to see where the boss is located.
The floppy disk is copying.
Oh my God! And he turns around, and who's standing there? His boss. He goes, Peter, I'm gonna need you to come in tomorrow, and maybe Sunday too. Okay? All right.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. So if you could be here around 9, that would be great. Okay? Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm also gonna need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too, okay? We lost some people this week, and we need to sort of play catch-up. Thanks.
And then he doesn't. Because we get to the best part of the movie.
The hypnotherapist.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the hypnotherapist.
Where he's like, where he goes. Wait, hold on. You cover what you're going to cover. I think.
Oh, no, it's literally that. I was going to say, so he goes to the hypnotherapy at the behest of his cheating horror girlfriend.
Correct.
And played by she was in Living Color. She was one of the Color.
One of the funniest things about that scene, to me, is when Peter's sitting there and explaining his situation. And he's like, so, Doc, if you think about it, every time you talk to me, it's the worst day of my life. Yes. And the doctor goes, wow, that's messed up.
That's messed up, man. And everyone looks at him like, that. You shouldn't say that as a therapist.
That was like the funniest shit ever.
So I was sitting in my cubicle today, and I realized ever since I started working, every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life.
What about today? Is today the worst day of your life?
Yeah.
Wow, that's messed up.
One of my favorite scenes of the movies comes up next. So, hypnotherapist dies when he's in the middle of having him not stress out about things, not worry about things anymore.
And that guy's a very big character actor. He's been in a ton of stuff.
Yes, he has. So the alarm. So this is now the next day, and he's supposed to be at work, but Peter's sleeping in because he doesn't give a shit anymore. And the alarm goes off, and then the phone rings, and then the answering machine goes off, and then the phone rings more, and he keeps getting messages and messages and messages, and then he listens to his messages. Go ahead and play that one.
Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg. It's about 10 o'clock. Yeah, just wondering where you are. Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg again. I just wanted to make sure you knew that we did start at the usual time this morning. Yeah, it isn't a half day or anything like that. So if you could just go ahead and get here as soon as possible, that would be terrific.
Yeah, Peter, I'm going to need you to come. Hey, yeah, it's just me again. I walked off my desk. Are you okay?
Yeah. So it's 10 a.m. Were you not aware it was a 9 a.m. start time? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. See you in a little bit.
And mind you, this was during pager times. Yes. There wasn't like cell phones or voicemail. Voicemail.
Don't you wish we could kind of sometimes eliminate that? Like go back to those days.
Oh my God!
Like if I don't want to be tracked down or found, I won't be tracked down or found.
I leave my house. Yes. That was pretty much it. So
he also hangs up on his girlfriend because she calls and wants to ask about things too, and he's just kind of he's in an F it mode, and he just hangs up on her, and then she calls back and goes, "And I was cheating on you." He's like, "Whatever, I don't care."
Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg. Hi, it's Bill Lumberg. Yeah, it's me again. I was away from my desk for a minute, just checking in case you called while I was gone.
Hello?
Peter, what's going on?
Huh?
It's 3:30. Why aren't you at work?
Because I didn't feel like it.
Peter, what's gotten into you? First you just sit there while Dr. Swanson dies, then you just walk out of the car and embarrass me in front of my friends, and don't blame this on hypnosis either. That's total bull.
Listen, asshole, nobody hangs up on me. We're through. Oh, and one more thing. I've been cheating on you!
That was such a
So in the same state of mind, you know, he now just doesn't care anymore.
Yes.
He doesn't go into work, but he drives all the way to work and goes to the restaurant that's right next door to work. Shenanigans to pick up on Jennifer Aniston. And he pushes aside that annoying waiter guy. And goes straight to him. Hey!
How
And then
you doing?
Yeah. And he walks right past him. He goes up to her, which, I mean, frankly, if I stopped caring about life and I had the balls to do it, I would go up to Jennifer Aniston, too.
I would, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely a very attractive woman. She's
So-
probably been on my list once or twice.
Once or twice. So now we cut to not Milton, but who's the other guy? That's he's the highly strung guy. Tom. He's the one that comes up with the jump to conclusions. You cut to him being interviewed by the consultants, and they say, "So, Tom, what is it you would say that you do here?"
Yes.
I take this and I take it down to them and I hand it to them. So you take it down personally. Well, one of my assistants does.
What you do at Initech is you take the specifications from the customers and you bring them down to the software engineers.
Yes, that's right.
Well, then I just have to ask, why couldn't the customers just take them directly to the software people, huh?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because engineers are not good at dealing with customers.
So you physically take the specs from the customer?
Well, no. My secretary does that, or the fax.
So then you must physically bring them to the software people.
Well, no. Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
And then later,
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Later in the movie, the cool thing is later in the movie when they're talking about him again, they're like, "Oh, he doesn't do shit. He's good.
He's gone.
And then he tries to do what?
Where he tries to do the car starting
And
in the
then
car.
the wife shows up.
Which is how he gets hurt.
Which is how he makes all the money.
And he goes, and I'm suing, and I'm going to make all this money. So look, if you wait long enough, good things will happen to you. He's saying this as he's like in traction.
He's trying to kill himself.
So right after he has his interview, our good friend, the tech support guy, Michael Bolton, has the interview with the guys, and he has to pretend to like Michael Bolton,
Which is something you should never have
Never
to do.
do, right.
No, you
He goes, so what's your favorite Michael Bolton song? And there's a pause. I think I like them all. I know you're a Bolton fan like I am. It's just so hard to pick.
You are Michael Bolton?
Yeah. Is that your real name?
Yeah. Are you any relation to the pop singer?
No, it's just a coincidence.
Vic, I'll be honest with you. I love his music. I do. I'm a Michael Bolton fan. For my money, I don't know if it gets any better than when he sings "When a Man Loves a Woman."
But you must really love his music, huh?
Yeah, he's pretty good, I guess.
You're goddamn right he is.
Right.
So tell me, what's your favorite song of his?
I don't know. I guess I sort of like them all.
That's so Ryan. I'm the exact same way, but it must be twice as hard for you being have the same name as him.
And that guy's been in a ton of movies too. What's that guy's name? J.C. McGinley. He's been in John C. McGinley. John C. McGinley
is.
He's been in so many movies.
He was in the show Scrubs. He was in
Point Break. He was in Platoon back in the day.
Wow, he was in Platoon. Wow,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was in a lot of stuff. So yeah, he's very recognizable too. So the cast is great all the way around.
So what do you think about some flair at Shenanigans? If you worked at Shenanigans, would you be able to have enough flair to keep them happy?
Well, here's the thing: is I would have the minimum amount of flair, so I wouldn't get in trouble. And if I was being harassed to have more flair, I would bring it up to HR.
Yeah. So what?
So true.
15 flair is what I'm required to do. But do you want to do what's required, or do you want to do more? Or like
the minimum. Do you want to do just what you have to do to get by, or do you want to do a little bit more?
Yeah.
We need to talk. Do you know what this is about?
My, flair?
Yeah. Or, your lack of flair, because, I'm counting and I only see 15 pieces. Let me ask you a question, Joanna. What do you think of a person who only does the bare minimum?
What do I think? You know what, Stan? If you want me to wear 37 pieces of flair like your pretty boy over there, Brian, why don't you just make the minimum 37 pieces of flair?
Well, I thought I remembered you saying that you wanted to express yourself.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I do. I do want to express myself. Okay? And I don't need 37 pieces of flair to do it. All right? There's my flair.
Go jump off the bridge.
So Peter, when he's describing his job to her, she's trying to describe. They're making small talk, right?
Yeah.
At Shenanigans. So he's meeting with
Is it
Jennifer Aniston.
Shenanigans?
I think it is Shenanigans.
This is probably the melting pot for what happened to be Waiting, the movie.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So he's describing his job to her, and this is another thing I really identified with, is he kind of gives up halfway through, like he's trying to explain his job, and then he just goes, never mind, I don't really care. This is exactly how I feel trying to explain my job to people when they're like, so what do you do? Well, I'm in the alcohol business. Well, what exactly do you do? I drink alcohol. I mean, like, I give up.
What's funny is I actually had this conversation with him a couple weeks ago, and all I say is, like, just keep bringing me beer. I don't care what you do. Because he brings me beer all the time. But yeah, I love when they're interviewing everybody. It's so funny because you instantly are on defense when you're a person like
of course.
Tom.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I have a job. No, I'm great. No, this is good. But then they end up firing pretty much everyone. Yeah.
So he's telling her about his job. He can't give up anymore. And he says, I'm not going to work anymore. And she goes, you're going to quit? No, I'm just going to stop going. That's such a great line. Because that's literally, like, think about it. If you want to quit, you think of, I got to quit, find a new job. Yeah. He never considers that. He thinks, I'm just going to not go anymore. And she goes, but what about bills? Yeah, I'm not going to pay those either. What are they going to do?
Where do you work, Peter?
Initech.
And what do you do there?
I sit in a cubicle and I update bank software for the 2000 switch. Well, see, they wrote all this bank software, and to save space, they used 2 digits for the date instead of 4, so like 98 instead of 1998. So I go through these thousands of lines of code, and it doesn't really matter. I don't like my job, and I don't think I'm gonna go anymore.
You're just not gonna go?
Yeah.
Won't you get fired?
I don't know. But I really don't like it, and I'm not gonna go.
So you're gonna quit?
Nuh-uh, not really. I'm just gonna stop going.
Well, what are you gonna do about money and bills and...
You know, I've never really liked paying bills. I don't think I'm gonna do that either.
You're now my personal hero. So I think there's another really important clip to play because it's so integral to the whole movie, and that is when Peter finally goes in for his interview. So he shows up and they say, Peter, you've been missing work. Well, I wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
Yeah, I know, right?
And he's playing Tetris at his desk, and they come up to talk to him. The Bob. He goes, I have a meeting in just a little bit. So he goes into the interview, and he has his interview. We should play a little bit of it, but this is just how he describes his job. The bosses thing that you talked about earlier.
I got 8 bosses.
Better looks like a Peter Gibbons. Oh, there you are. We were just talking about you. You must be Peter Gibbons. Terrific. I'm Bob Slidell. This is my associate, Bob Porter.
Oh, hi, Bob. Bob?
Pretty much go ahead and grab a seat and join us for a minute or two. Would you walk us through a typical day for you?
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I generally come in at least 15 minutes late. I use the side door. That way Lumberg can't see me. And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour. Till I'm thirsty.
Space out?
Yeah, I just stare at my desk. But it looks like I'm working. I do that for probably another hour after lunch, too. I'd say in a given week, I probably only do about 15 minutes of real, actual work. The thing is, Bob, it's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care. Good luck with your layoffs, all right? I hope your firings go really well.
My favorite part of that clip is at the end he goes, and I really hope your firings go well. And they were like really thankful for him. They're like, oh, well, thank you. The other thing, I tell you something I noticed on the whiteboard. So when they're in that room,
okay,
on the whiteboard in the back of the meeting, this is a meeting room that they're having this conference room
with glass wall.
I read it on the whiteboard was written a meeting time for planning to plan. So it was like a little inside joke. So it was on the whiteboard. It was 10 a.m. We have a meeting about planning for the plan.
Really?
Yes.
I'm gonna see if I can find it right now.
Yeah.
Go planning.
Okay, so we now come to my favorite scene in the movie. My favorite scene in the whole
This
movie.
better be the one I'm thinking of.
He comes in and the boss wants to talk to him, and he's walking there. The boss is standing there, and he's walking towards the boss, and the boss says, "Peter, I need to talk to you." And he sidesteps the boss and just walks around him. And it's a simple scene. And a lot of people don't even notice it. It's just part of so many other funny things. It is my absolute favorite scene in the movie because I've always wanted to do this. Where Eric, I need to talk to you. And you just sidestep the guy and keep walking because he sidesteps him as if he was a running back dodging a defender.
Yeah, it was just a slow motion NFL move. That's all it was. The way that the management is allowed to confront him when he does all these things that's ludicrous. Yeah. They can't do anything, and that's how it is. Because you've been in the point of management. That's you're like, oh, you're gonna go over there and you're gonna do that over there on that table over there. Okay, well, please don't. Yeah. And then you have to write them up.
Yeah,
it's the whole thing. Why are you writing me up? Because you shit on a table.
So then the Bobs are now giving their summary to the owners of the company about what they're going to do. And I love how they're describing all their firings, and they talk about Milton, and they say, well, we discovered he was actually let go years ago, but there's a thing where he keeps getting his payroll, so we corrected that glitch. And they're all, so you're going to fire him? No, we're just going to stop paying him, and it'll kind of work itself out.
Here's a peculiar... Milton Wadhams. Who's he? Squirrely-looking guy, mumbles a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can't actually find a record of him being a current employee here. I looked into it more deeply, and I found that apparently what happened is that he was laid off 5 years ago, and no one ever told him about it. But through some kind of glitch in the payroll department, he still gets a paycheck.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
Great.
So, Milton has been let go.
Well, just a second there, Professor.
We fixed the glitch. So he won't be receiving a paycheck anymore, so it'll just work itself out naturally. We always like to avoid confrontation whenever possible.
And he goes, so we found this. They basically were describing Peter as like a rock star, and it was really catching the bosses offhand. They're like, well, he's been having trouble at
feeling
work.
Challenged. I don't think he's been challenged enough. So, and then that's when they look at him, and then they set down like all of the folders except for one, and they go, speaking of that, Gary.
We feel that the problem isn't with Peter. It's that you haven't challenged him enough to get him really motivated.
There it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Yeah, Bill, let me ask you a real quick question here. How much time would you say you spend each week dealing with these TPS reports?
They totally turned it on him, so he's, what do you mean? What do you mean? I love that scene.
So now we get to the song that we played at the beginning, the Damn Right, It Feels Good to Be a Gangster. This is where Peter, another thing that I think we've all wanted to do at some point, he unscrews his, this is all playing while he's having his like kind of meltdown at work where he's just doing whatever he wants. He unscrews his cubicle so all of the walls fall down. He parks in the boss's parking spot.
And then the boss parks in the handicap spot and gets towed.
It gets towed, which is fantastic. He takes down the banner that says, are you doing what's best for the company?
Best for the company. Oh, God, that speech was ridiculous.
What else does he do? The boss comes to talk, and he's playing Tetris, and he says, now's not a good time, which is another one I've always wanted to do. But then he also takes out the fax machine and takes it out to a field and lets them beat the hell out of it with bats.
He's like, this is my present to you. That scene is so integral to the actual part. I think that scene helped everybody fall in love with this movie so much because everybody wants to do it so bad.
Especially, remember, 1999, fax machines were still being used pretty heavily, so we all wanted to smash a fax machine. Like, that was...
And they don't even stop it just like, oh, I'm going to hit it with a bat or a pole. They
They're
go
stomping
in, punching
it,
it with his fist toward the end.
And also, while they're playing a song, he comes up and says, so are you going to have those TPS reports done? He goes, no, you're just going to have to come back later.
Yeah. God, it's so good. I mean, it's so smart.
The consultants, other thing I forgot to mention that I like when they're talking about their firings that they're going to do to the bosses, they say, we're going to have to fire Samir Naga. Well, he's not going to work anymore here, that's for sure.
Mr. Samir Naga. Not going to work here anymore anyway.
I thought it was so funny because that movie is so dated with all the computer monitors and the floppy disks.
Speaking of dated, the big scam that they're going to do so now they want to make all this money.
That's
so
right.
So their big scam is they're going to pull what's been used in many other movies, this concept, but they're going to siphon off a fraction of a penny from every transaction. And they're going to do it through a computer virus. And they're using it through like old floppy disks and everything like that, which is hilarious. When Peter's explaining his plan, he says, listen, if the worst case scenario we get caught, we go to minimum security prison. They have conjugal visits. And he goes, you mean I get to have sex with women while in prison? That's what the Samir says. He goes, yeah. Then later on, when they're worried about getting caught, he goes, I'm not going to conjugal visit prison. I'm going to fuck me in the ass prison.
So that's when they found out that the virus went too far, I guess.
Yes. Well, or because the neighbor can hear through the walls, and he goes, he's explaining the thing, and he goes, I swear, no one will know about this. And through the wall, he goes, don't worry, man.
I won't tell no one. And then remember the montage of them when they're like at work and they're getting ready to drop the virus in there, and they're like walking around there. They're flipping the disc behind their back and passing it as they're walking by.
Meanwhile, this work is so incompetent that they could just walk in and going, we're downloading a virus today, and no one would know.
Yeah, they could walk out with their computer.
The secretary would be going like, here's a virus. How may I help you?
Please hold.
So Peter now explains the scheme to his girlfriend Joanna, Jennifer Aniston, and she goes, so you're stealing? He goes, no, you don't understand. Well, you're going to make a lot of money, right? Well, yes.
Yep.
And it isn't yours, right? No. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, she totally calls him on his bullshit.
She does.
There too.
Doesn't he reference like Nazi or Hitler or something in there where he's like, well, no, you know who talks like that? The Nazis. Oh, so you're going to steal from the Nazis now? Or like goes
Yes.
on.
So you had mentioned the whole too much money and the thing didn't work. So the actual amount was in just a couple of days they made $305,000.
Yep.
And then so they go, well, maybe we could launder the money, but no one knows how, and they're having to look it up in a dictionary. Then they ask the guy who
That's even before the internet.
Yeah, there's no internet. So then the guy selling magazines door to door, they assume is he would know that stuff.
Oh, that's what's his face from
not Orlando
Evolution.
not Orlando Bloom.
He was the Sprite guy.
Orlando
for a long
something
time.
or other.
Orlando something.
I know.
I'll
his
look
name
him up.
somewhere. Yeah. So he's selling magazines door to door. They can't figure out how to do it, so they ask him. Except for now they're trapped. So
Orlando Jones.
Orlando Jones. He goes, you're not going to tell anybody, are you? He goes, that depends on how many magazines you're going to sell. He goes, I don't know. And then the guy leaves. He goes, I don't know what I'm going to do with 12 subscriptions to Jet magazine.
That wasn't even really needed.
It wasn't, but it was so funny.
I know, it's
and
so
then
great.
he goes, this is another thing that I think really resonates true, because I think we all feel this way. He goes, how do all these Neanderthal con artists do it, and we're really smart and we can't figure out how to be criminals? And I feel the same way. I'm like, I'm a pretty smart guy. How is it I can't figure out how to be a total criminal and make money, but like the dumb guys?
That's because you don't want to pay the consequences. Yeah, you don't want to go to fuck me in the ass prison if you know what I'm saying.
Because I sometimes think about like really dumb, lazy people who run businesses, and both you and I have tried to start businesses, and it's really hard.
Oh, it's difficult.
I'm like, how is it this dumb idiot can run a business, and it's been a business for 20 years, and like I'm a pretty smart guy, and I know what I'm doing, and I can't run a business. I don't understand. So basically, we're kind of summing up the end of the movie here. Basically, they realize they're screwed. He has to do something. Peter feels guilty, right? So he writes a letter and confesses. The other thing I like is he writes a letter and confesses, slides it under the door, and he immediately tries to get it back.
Yeah, right away. Not even like 2 seconds.
He realizes, like, what am I confessing for? By the way, do you think, looking back, did he really need to confess? Because how would they ever prove it was him?
Well, back then, no, they couldn't have proved it was him.
That's what I'm saying. It was a virus, and that money's missing. I don't think anyone in that company would be able to find out where the hell that money went or who it went to.
But what happens?
You'd have to explain, like, where you got the money.
Everything burns down.
Yes.
Isn't that
so
amazing?
Everything burns down, and who did it? Well, I'm going to burn this place right to the ground.
But he got his stapler.
He got his stapler
and
back.
He got the $350,000 check.
Yes.
That's why he was sitting on the beach.
Yes.
I love how it circles back around where this movie, all the bad guys win.
Yeah.
Think about it. All the bad guys win, which they stole from a company. They got away with it. He burnt the place down. He got away with it and got the money.
So I got a few facts about this movie. Number one, the red stapler that is so integral to the movie that we were just talking about.
Yes.
It was made specially just for the movie, and eventually so many people requested it because of the movie, they now make that red stapler.
Staples does, yeah, that's funny.
The PC load letter scene was not scripted. There was supposed to be more of a conversation between Michael and Peter, but the copier really did jam in real life, and the actors just kind of kept going, and Mike Judge thought it was such a funny scene, he left that in the movie, but the copier really jammed in that
PC
scene.
load letter? What the fuck
What the fuck's a PC load letter?
One of the exercises that you're supposed to figure out what you would want to do. If PC load letter, what the fuck does that mean?
But that really happened when they were supposed to be having a conversation over the copier, and the copier really jammed, which is so appropriate because that's what copiers do. Is they suck.
And then when you go in to change the toner, it flies everywhere. Have you ever heard that
Yes,
before?
where you pull it out.
Yeah, and it's like there's black on the ground for months.
So Michael Bolton, the real Michael Bolton, not the
God.
character,
He's in it.
learned to be at peace with being called a, quote, no-talent ass clown. Because the guy calls him that in the movie.
A couple times.
And people, I guess fans shout it to him. They say, Michael Bolton, you're a no-talent ass clown.
And that no talent ass clown became famous and started winning Grammys.
So this is a quote from him. He said, I was doing fine. Then all of a sudden they make this movie and now I can't go anywhere. But 10 years later, he said he admits that the movie is actually really funny and he signs Office Space DVD for fans.
I bet. Yeah,
Which is hilarious. That's a good cut.
I mean, it raised his fandom. I don't like
Totally.
him, but the only reason I know he's still relevant in my world is because of Office Space.
Yeah, and then the other fact about the movie is this movie inspired TGI Fridays to stop it with the flair. It says, as you remember, Jennifer Aniston's character,
Yes.
she grew so disengaged with it, and she didn't like it at Tchotchkes or whatever it is because she could never seem to wear enough flair. So in 2005, TGI Fridays cut out their flair program, and one of their revealed that one of their assistant directors asked Friday's employee, without revealing their affiliations, about the absence. Like, why did the flair disappear? They said, well, basically we removed it because of that movie Office Space, and customers would come in and like make fun of it.
them.
So, like, I bet you all the employees of like the Applebee's and the TGI
Oh,
Fridays
yeah.
and all that, they are probably so
Chili's.
happy about that movie because they're like, thank God for getting rid of the flair.
Yeah, right now I don't have to wear 13 pens while I walk around in
So
suspenders.
stupid. I would not have the patience for that. So,
that's
so
fun.
in the overall summation, ooh, there's a word for you. The overall summation
If
of this
it's
movie,
not real.
would you say? And I think I know the answer. That this is a movie worth owning and having in your like a DVD library kind of a thing.
I would say yes. I would say if the end of the world came down to it and I had to pick between this and Titanic, I would take Office Space all day long.
It's a great group watch movie.
Yes.
You could put it on when you have people over, and everyone's pretty much gonna like it. Like I don't see too many people being like, "Oh, this sucks. What do you got on?"
It totally plays into that. Let's put it on in the background while everybody sits around and has a few drinks. And you can watch this movie 7 times, drunk or not drunk or high or not stoned or whatever, and you're going to see something different every time because
exactly.
You catch up to the joke. And when you're catching up to that joke, there's already another joke.
See,
to
and
happen.
especially me not having worked in too many offices until recently. Yes, I was annoyed by that secretary. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. I was annoyed by that before, but now that I'm in an office and I recognize that as some of my coworkers, it really resonated. I was like, oh my God, I want to kill that lady.
I'll break a bottle and stab a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good movie. So I give it a 2. What's our rating system?
3 penises out of 5.
Okay. I wouldn't have gone penis. I would have been like 2 boobs and a side boob.
2 boobs and 7. No, I do. I think that this movie is great. Think about it. It hits all the boxes. It was funny.
Yep.
It had great memorable scenes. It had great lines that you can quote from the movie. It's entirely rewatchable over and over again. It's great to put on as a group. I mean, it literally checks all the boxes.
Yep. There's tons of memes, lots of gifs.
Yes, tons of stuff like that. So I'm going to say that this is a great movie to revisit if you haven't seen it in a while, and it's part of our collection of movies that come on TBS and TNT.
It's definitely a TNT movie.
It is.
It's a TNT movie after 3 p.m.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to this special edition of We Should Be Better at This movie edition, where we revisited Office Space, and keep a lookout for events we got coming up. Thisisfunner.com.
Yeah, go to thisisfunner.com. Go all the way to the bottom. Submit movies that you want us to watch and make fun of or talk about. Plus, we're going to do the interruption of this movie before the end of the year. So if you want to listen to this, let us know.
All right, everybody. Have yourself a good whatever day it is.
It's not Christmas.
It's not Christmas?
No.
Hanukkah. Everybody have a good Hanukkah.
Bye.
Bye.
Catch you later.
I guarantee you fright, cause I'm on the verge of knocking you I'm down for no reason. Once I get down, I'll be no breathing. It seems with
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.